Hello, I'm just a couple minutes late because I'm totally enjoying my little roaring fire, despite that it's actually a beautiful, beautiful day. Oh, you can't really see it, but anyways, it is a beautiful day here, and there it is. That's why I'm late. So I'll put this to me so you don't have to get quite as sick. You have something steady. But yeah, just the cuckoo rang a little bit late. Looked down, I was like, oh, it's late. How are you guys? I'm Lori LaRose. I am an active stamping. I'm a card maker. I at one point I acted that I was stamping, and then a couple years ago, I got serious about Stampin'. Let's go with that. Anyways, I'm teasing. I have been a demonstrator with Stampin' Up for 22 years and love it. So today it's Thursday morning, and I usually do my lives at nighttime at 8 o'clock at night, Mountain Time. Good morning, Keisha. You'll have to scroll back. I just did a little tiny bit of a, it's a beautiful day here. Like, it's gorgeous, 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 but it's like -6 waking up. So my husband made a fire and I was just sitting finishing my tea and doing that. So, okay, I am doing no line. Keisha and I think she came up with the idea. Let's go with that. To do, maybe not, but who knows? Definitely she's making my graphics, and aren't they beautiful? I just love them. So no line stamping today. So we're going to work with, I should be able to try and find this set, this pretty set here. It's got tulips and it's got this pretty guy in it, and we'll see what we go with. So let me throw you down here. Hi Cheryl, how are you? I'm going to just throw you back down. So I flip-flopped twice today. I was just enjoying a fire. I'm going to try and come a little bit low so you can see my coloring. And most people, I think, when you hear no line, this is actually the time that you should probably go play with, spit it out, Lori, with watercolors. I'm going to work with my blends because I am a blend girl, and I think we're going to make something pretty with it. So, all right, I worked with, so I tell you, when I come on every night, it's sort of like, okay, what am I going to do next? So I came up with a little idea that Tuesdays were going to be texture days. A couple days ago, and I never did mount this guy, but last week was with, what do you call it? Tissue paper. I think we kind of decided tissue paper for this card would have maybe been cuter, but it turned out kind of pretty. Used a lot of glue in the end, right over top of it, trying to get it to have that pressed down look because it's kind of fuzzy. And I've just got this gluing down here. This is the other one. And I think it's, I think that the what's this called? The dryer sheets was what I did on Tuesday. And I think dryer sheets are, personally, I think they're better for winter time. That, like a winter snowy scene. But, and yeah, I think we all agreed. I'm going to do another one of these and do it with a tissue paper over top. And I think we're going to really love it. But tissue papers definitely mute it, just FYI. Okay, so no line coloring. Gonna work with, pulled out a real oldie yesterday. Where's the stamp? Huh. She must be in the bathroom. Here it is. Look, green. So just kidding. This was one of the funniest ones. I was laughing. Saying goodbye is hard. Maybe not as hard as saying no thanks. I'll pass on dessert, but it's hard. Okay. Anyways, all right. So got a piece here. I think when you do no line, like I said, I think most people reach for their watercolors. I really actually was going to, and then I have all my blends out here. If you're working with watercolors, I would suggest working with either the shimmer white that we don't have anymore or some of the watercolor paper. And I might do a part 2 of this at some point. Maybe even tomorrow night. What do we know? Bring in some wine and watercoloring. I saw somebody does, wine and watercolor would be good. Would they do it? Paint. Oh, it was a paint night. Paint and Prosecco. So yeah, we would do wine and watercoloring. All right. I'm just reaching for, here we go. Basic beige was right over here on my side. So I think actually, especially with, I find this a little tiny bit greeny, but not grainy, but green. And so I think that for a floral, I think this will be okay. I think otherwise people were using in the past, holy gosh, that's bright in my eyeballs. I think people were using, like crumb cake you could work with. Smoky slate actually would probably be really nice. But yeah, because we're doing this, I have no idea how I totally hit the edges on that. All right, so to stamp. To stamp or not to stamp? Is that even a question? I think that's actually one of those, look, see, things do stick. Oh, look at that. To stamp or not to stamp, that's not even a question. Interesting. You guys know that I've said different times that I see ideas and I do them. And honestly, I'm flipping through Pinterest like weeks later and I'm like, there's my card. Oh, that's not my card. Oh my gosh. I didn't know I copied that card. I literally didn't think I read that today. I read it last night and the night before kind of thing. Well, probably just last night. But anyways, okay. All right. So you love the beige. Okay, cool. I do you use it? Do you use it with your airplanes? I don't know. It's like it's just not beige to me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I like it. Well, we're talking. Oh, what's this? Let's put that away. Let's just grab the paper for one quick second. I will not be backing it with this, but just to do a thorough on this. FYI, this is a great segue for me to say, and I'm going to be coloring and talking the whole time. So there we go. There it is. So yeah, the paper's more beige than, the paper's pretty, but it does have a little tinge. Yeah, it's there. Anyways, I do think the ink's slightly more green than the paper. Anyways, okay, and then let me just see. Like, it looks beautiful with Mossy Meadow. What does it look like with blue? Look how pretty. Okay, this might be one package that you should buy before it goes up in price. So big news came down, the pipes. I am putting in an order. If you're local to me and want me to pick up like just a package of white paper for you, we are a little concerned that white paper is going to disappear. Tulips, you know what? I kind of want to do yellow, so I should have grabbed my yellows over there. Hi, Wendy. I think using it as a background is a good idea. Kind of as a replacement, have you replaced using crumb cake? Did you used to use crumb cake a lot? That would be my little bit of a question. Because I use crumb cake. Hey, Betty. All right. So last night we were making fun cards. I'm actually going to show you the card only because it sort of has to do with outlining and no lines. I have a whole bunch of yellows here. I don't think I want mango. The one thing I think where people like, but you can layer, I think you can layer blends more than people think they can. Okay, so this is going to be a no line drawing. And you could even go so far as to do it lighter than this by stamping it off once and then stamping it. And I think some people suggest that as well. At the very end, I'm going to, if I can, I saw one thing, talking about Stampin' Up! Twigs me. So this is no line. This is definitely a line, even in white. It's an old sparkly that Stampin' Up! Used to have, but even in white, it's definitely got a line. There's definitely, the line actually kind of makes this card, and you know what I mean? And generally speaking, it was funny because when I very first heard this, I was like, oh, I could do the masking and just not stamp. Why when I want these things, they sort of there the whole time, then they come a little tiny bit later. Hold on. Nope. Here's a definitely, so usually, so this is a step towards no line because I stamped in something softer than black. I'm just teasing. That was not intentional. All right. Well, if I find, oh, here it is. This guy, you can kind of do this once literally as a no by just not stamping him, right? But you do get layers by masking as well, but that's nothing to do with today. All right, that would be M for masking. So I'm going to start with the dark yellow and I'm going to do some lines and then I'm going to come back in with more dark yellow eventually and essentially. All right. And I do turn my guy around and around to go with the curve of the flower. So, and I'm going to go where I kind of think there's shadows. And in this case, there'll be quite a bit of shadows. So I'm going all the way up on that. And this under one, also a fair amount of darkness. My old friend. So I was watching just a little tiny bit of Ella Enchanted. I guess it was a meme maybe, but I think I need to watch it. But I think that they have, I think the elves on that show, every time anybody says anything, they sing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm an elf. Yeah, I've got to go back and watch that again because I was busy, but I was like, what did she just say that they're starting to sing that now? Okay, so there's only the 3 tulips on this guy. And then pulling in the light daffodil. And I'm checking my tips because sometimes my tips are not as good as they should be. But I want to lay down some color. I want to make sure that I don't, it's really saturating. What am I trying to say? I want to make sure that it doesn't go outside the lines. That's not what it's about. And you know that if the blends are too wet, they can. I'm going to try the other end just to see the difference, especially on a bigger space. So again, I'm not ignoring the lines, and I'm not just coloring. I don't want them to disappear per se, although they could have a tendency to disappear. And I do like using the solid better, and it does change color as you go, and you're not trying to go over the line, you just went straight over that line. I know, but that's because I'm trying to actually blend the darker yellow at this point. So it's okay, it seems like, if you go over the line. If the line disappears, it's okay too. All right, so that's like the first layer of it. And I really have to blow my nose. Just a minute, guys. Trying to think which color green. I think I'm going to do Granny Apple Green. I love Granny Apple Green. And I think it's pretty. There's light Granny Apple Green and dark. And then I need also a stem color. Oh, I need this stem color. I think I'll do that in an old olive. So because I'm going to pretend like I think. So I'm going to redraw all of the stems of this critter. Is this dark or light? I've read it 3 times. Dark. Is there a light one handy here? Light Mossy Meadow. Lemonade. What's your guys' favorite greens? And have we heard any word that these guys are going up? Betty is no line coloring. It's no line coloring. I'm like, really? Is Betty doing it too along with me? It's called No Line Coloring. N is for, so I don't think I even said. I jumped right into it. We're doing the ABCs of techniques with Stampin' Up. Ooh, look how nice I did that. Sometimes you just nail it. I'm not necessarily going to do that again here, but we'll pretend. The more casual you are, I tend to, if I'm really like, oh, am I going to be able to do this? That's when I sort of miss it. And obviously it's going to go on both sides of the line anyways. It's too fat to not, kind of. So there's not a huge concern. But yeah, just kind of flow with it. And it usually turns out okay. Let's go with that. Okay, dark Granny Apple. Same thing with the leaves now. I'm going to do. And you're like, why are you going upside down? I don't know. So I have 2 choices here. What are my choices? What am I talking about? I'm going, not on purpose. I don't mean to be going over top of the line, actually, in this case. I'm kind of flubbing it. On these curves, I'm going to go around those. I'm kind of actually meaning to go by the lines, but this marker and my pressure is, I'm totally covering the line. And let's see if I don't cover this one. It's hard not to cover it. I'm not quite sure why that's happening, but anyways, it's okay. I'm doing far less pressure right now, and I'm getting a thinner line, so that's good. And it's okay that I'm covering up that line because It's all about no line. So technically, for my friends that are big watchers of other things, am I totally cheating doing blends? Blends are super easy. And I do have a blends club that as you're doing this, you'd be like, oh, okay. I thought I was okay with just daffodil, but now I see I should have probably done lemon lolly. If I was really trying to sell these, I would have done lemon lolly and then brought in the dark daffodil or the light daffodil as yet another color. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? So I think the stems I'm going to do just straight out, and I got to do them because I'm losing them in here. I'm going to do them straight out. For the real artist, why do I want to do this upside down? I get turning it around and around, but why do I like doing my drawing, my coloring upside down? Who knows? Down here, I'm losing it. Okay. Nice. Okay. Dun, da, da, da. Now I'm trying to think. I always do love a nice blue on these flowers. I'm just wondering if I want pink. Because I do like pink as well. Hang on one second here. Now what am I doing, right? I need a little tiny piece of paper. And I'm puffing on this and stamping. Oh, that's really no line. I am crazy no line stamping now. Can you even see the lines? No, that's okay. I can. I'm going to do just a little tiny bit of pink. I'll be really honest. I do love Pretty in Pink. I wasn't 100% sad to see it go either, though. It kind of goes orange on me, much to my chagrin. And then I do love it, and then I don't. So anyways, okay. And I'm going to do one boho, but I'm going to do Balmy Blue as well. I do love the boho, but I have to say, I find that the blends are not quite as light. See, look how pretty that is. Blues. So I have, look at me organized. I have different drawers of different colors. Behind me, when you see me very first thing talking, I do have the 5 in colors behind me on the little storage, the white storage racks. But I do find that I prefer, oh, I do like this. I don't know why, but I'm kind of a sucker for little blue guys. So know that I'm 96% going to go with this. So this is just a little test run here. And actually, it's a nice show. If I don't do a little bit more, we'll see how I'm going to work this up. Because when there's no lines, you actually have to work a little tiny bit harder to make it look a little bit prettier. So let's see. But anyway, so if I have the pink and the yellow I thought would look really pretty. But so will the blue and the yellow. Do you guys have a vote on that? I'll color for a few seconds and you guys can vote whether I should do pinks or yellow, blues rather. And I need the light Granny Apple Green now. And I'm going to have to, I'll color this way and you'll see that it's better to do it the other way. Oh, I love this. Do you guys also find some of the blends when you're working with the two, some of them do a better job, as I say, of, okay, let's say of blending, of eating the color. Does that make sense to you? So it's been a little tiny bit, my greens have actually dried, and that's a little tiny bit of it is I've got to re-moisten my dark blend to actually get it to blend so that it's not just a line. Though this one is actually blending it now. This is nice and wet, so it's doing a good job of blending it. Initially, I was thinking it wasn't. Not sure if there's supposed to be a space in there or not. Did you guys say pinks or blues? Oh, Wendy's watching. Forget-me-nots. Oh, you absolutely think? Look at Betty's giving a reason why. Nancy, hello. Oh, Old Olive is your favorite. No other votes? You guys, there's people out there. Do you want pink or blue? I actually, they probably are forget-me-nots, aren't they? So yes, they probably should be blue. I think the blue will be, oh, okay, I'll tell you this. I prefer to use the blue. I'm going to have to pull in maybe flamingo, and it might not be right. So even just looking at this, I'll even be able to pull in a little boho for a little definition. So voting's over. We're going blue. But like I said, we'll hold on to this because you'll see, hopefully, that spit it out, Lori. I am concentrating. Coloring is very good for you. Do you know that? I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, I have no idea. I zenned out for a second. But yes, it is actually very good for you. Pretty. I think there's some theory. Now, this is going to be interesting because I've got no lines whatsoever around this little, and I'm not sure if I'm talented enough to get a line somewhere for the daffodil stem. But that is a big blob right now, 100%. So that's where the no line becomes like, oh. So I'll have to see what I do for that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Going into this. Some of it even, if I do that, let's see if that even does it. So I wonder, oh, I know what I think I was going to say. Maybe not, but no, I think I went off the line. I wonder if I like to go upside down because that's the way the things grow. So I wonder if there's some little artisticness that the flow, things grow up. So I have to color up. I don't know. You know, Connie, I do love Old Olive. I actually honestly think that Granny Apple is my absolute favorite. Not necessarily the paper though. Like it's a pretty bold paper. So I don't know how often. I should do a little something. I have a lot of cards and half-finished cards around my place. I should do a little count and see what bases I use the most and what backgrounds. So I started to say at one point when I was showing the beige paper, if you haven't heard the startling news to all Stampin' Up! World, the mill rates for our paper, very niche market that we have, our hobby. So the cost of doing it is going to go up, sadly, because the white paper is going up. So Stampin' Up! Has to transfer those costs onwards to you guys and me. And yeah, so we're going to see a price increase. Pretty substantial on the white, bringing the white paper into about the same costing. Well, exactly, not about the same costing as it costs for our colored cardstock. Which honestly, I've often wondered why our white isn't the same price. And then I think, well, the dye, I guess, costs something, but white paper? So anyways, it's going to be the same price. And that is a little underleaf. So I'm going to, oh, whew. Hopefully that does some sort of weird blending eventually. This also, I think I needed to have it do something. So let's do this. Okay, so as dark as that was when I very first did it, it does dry. So sitting back and letting things relax for 5 seconds is not a bad idea, because then you get to see, oh, okay, that's what that's going to do. Okay. Where I think, oh, I nailed that. And then afterwards it's like, oh, where did that line go that I drew? To some degree, you can go, when you go back over it with exactly the same marker, it does do a streak or a line, but not completely. Okay, look at, I think I really did a lovely job on that shadow, hey? Okay, but this guy is completely lost here. And it doesn't help that they had a line there and I totally did the line. So now I'm really hooped because I'm making the whole thing darker. I could have kept the stem lighter. Oh, that's what I should have done. If I'd have been thinking, if I'd have left the stem lighter the whole time and done the leaf behind it darker. This might be a moment for the white lift. Let's see. Once I do the lift, I'm in trouble though, and it's in the very middle. But let's, if I had never done it in the first place, let's see. All right, I want to do a little tiny bit more definition around these guys, and then I also need to pull in the light balmy blue. Okay, I'm going to color the light balmy blue first and then add some dark colors afterwards. And so and yeah, I can color the whole thing. So this is going to just be you watching me do little circles. I don't even know if I have stories enough to tell you for all the coloring I'm going to be doing here. One of the people I watched to see how they were coloring, and I think I'm at least showing you close enough so you can see what I'm doing. She sped this part up and had a nice soft music playing, la 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 la, and which was all lovely for sure. And she said, even though I said I wasn't going to put great detail into it, she reduced it down and it didn't seem super sped up. So somehow or another, she must not have also showed us all parts. Like she must, I don't know how she did it, basically. I don't know how she filmed it is what I'm saying. Because basically the whole film was like 9 minutes. And she said it took her over an hour still. But of course it is just super fun. So watercolor is fun. I think I will. Maybe tomorrow night I'll do a no-line watercolor while we're drinking. Wine and watercolors tomorrow night on the, what's my thing called? Cocktails and cards. So tomorrow night it'll be, I'll branch out and we'll see how I make out. So I'm just going back over with the same color right now. Let's see how that dries, if it just absorbs it or not on those couple three. I'm going to come back in on these guys and I'm going to add, just even with just the same light daffodil, I'm going to just see what I do if I, oh, not that one. See what happens if I add some color. Because with a watercolor for sure, doing another layer, 100% would be different. It would be, and I just don't know if we're going to see it or if it just disappears. So I'm kind of feeling like it's disappearing. And I do the same thing with the light granny apple green, especially on some of on these lines. What is this? Light? Yes, it is. Come on then. Don't misbehave on me. This will be interesting to see how dark this goes. I say. So I color a fair amount. I don't do a lot of shadow watching and line stuff. Once I've started, I do feel like on this particular one, the way I did it, I need to go all the way back up. So this one I'm going to do just on the side there. There, let's see how that goes. This one, because I've got that same thing going on, although I ended up doing a stripe on that too. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of shadow on both sides of this and see if that helps. Okay, and then here, here, there, and there, here. Are you happy that I'm saying here and there? In case you didn't know I was going here and there. Okay, I didn't even color in here. That was not intentional to say here again. This is where you go and grab your tea and enjoy just some quiet. Nice. So I'm not sure that no line absolutely needs to retrace the lines, but it does feel a little bit like I'm doing that right now. And I'm doing it with the light, which is what I colored the mane in. I'm just kind of curious, how much does it dry again? I think we're still going to see that line, like the dark, the second layer of light on light there, but I just did it. So let's see how much it fades to, because I'm feeling like it might not be as cool as I think. But I don't feel like I want to come in with dark, but let's see. So the yellow did not, we sort of see a little bit, but and it's possible. So on my butterfly, when I had colored it in orange, if I can find my butterfly that I just had here, yellow kind of eats colors. I find it's my little corrector tool. It's my little bit of a go. Oh my gosh, where did that guy go? It's my little bit. Hi, Ellie. It's a little bit like my lift in that I change colors sometimes. So I got going with that butterfly. Not so much there, down here. So he was being very brown, and then he was like blah, basically. So I threw some yellow over top, and it lifts the brown out. It does give it a yellow hue, so you have to be okay with that, but it does lift it. So I'm kind of wondering a little bit, if I look, I think we are seeing a little tiny bit of where I added that, but I'm going to see if I can find my lemon lolly. Daffodil, lemon lolly. Let's see. It's going to be super light. I don't think I have a dark lemon lolly here. And then I will, oh, is this lemon lolly? No way. Daffodil. Light. This looks too old. And this is mango, I'm sure. What color is this guy? Oh, daffodil. I have too many daffodils, clearly. Okay, let's just see what happens if I do this. He's way light, so I should have started with him. Oh, you know what? Maybe no. He's so juicy, so I'm thinking, well, maybe I did use him, but I did just buy a new light daffodil as well. I'm sure he's just as, yeah, I did color. So in full truth, coming back to this little tiny testy guy, I think if I'd have done some light So if I'd have thought it through just a little tiny bit more, then when I would have done my light this, right, I would have had a little more contrast. And then if I did dark, so just FYI for you guys, if you're doing it, and on my next one, right, and then if I bring back in my light lolly and go over the whole thing, I think we'll set that aside. But okay, so now to give a little tiny bit of accent, I'll just start tiny here. And I'm doing mango right now. And I'm just doing a little tiny bit of depth. I'm going to come back in with a dark yellow there instead. There doesn't seem to be a lot of difference, honestly, in my mind, between this mango and my dark yellow. And I'm bringing in the light right here. Oops, this is light daffodil. I wanted light lemon lolly. And light daffodil one more time. I'm just going to follow up some lines here like I did with the green and see how that goes. I think it's going to fade back in even though it looks pretty solid. Oh, one hint. You'll hear me saying this tomorrow. When I'm watercoloring, she talked about doing in every other one so that you didn't get the blend right off the bat. She didn't want to have the blend right off the bat. Okay, now this guy here. So definitely I can see a difference between my blue and my blue where I went back over it. So that's kind of good to know. That was light balmy blue. So I can go back over certain areas to add a little tiny bit more dimension. Just barely touching some of this. Around, definitely in the, and then maybe I don't have to do the darkest on the outside, but we'll see. And I feel like this is taking a long time, so this is good. Okay, light, now dark balmy blue, and I want to do the dots, and I'm just going to dot, dot, dot. Nothing too fancy about the dots. That's my favorite spot, my favorite part. This is no line the easy way, but very, all right. I think that'll still fade. Now the green, I'm gonna bring back in my light to begin with. I'm gonna bring up the stems a little tiny bit because I feel like they're just kind of stabbing there. So I'm gonna add some little lines. I think that'll look better. I do want them all to come out of the stem. I just had that come out of the leaf. That was not as good. The more precise I get at it, the tougher I make it on myself. This guy, even with the lightening of that, he's sort of there. Okay, so I'm going to do olive as that. I'm going to come in with the olive and just see what happens here. Or, wait, I have a lemon lime. Slightly same color, but just a little bit brighter. A little bit of that yellow tone that I talked about, so it kind of might brighten it up and have it stand out just a little tiny bit. And surprisingly, look, those stems that were really scary, my greens, just faded. I love them. Look, I look like I was totally artistic. That was not me. When I did them, honestly, I was like, oh, that's so garish. But now it's brightening. So the yellow and the lemon lime has now made those stems stand out a little tiny bit. I like that a lot, actually. I'm so happy. Perfect. Nice. Because they are so limey, hey? Okay, so I got a little tiny bit of dark shadowing in some spots. Right there, I need a little tiny bit of dark shadowing there. So I'll bring in a little tiny bit here. And then do this here. So you can layer colors even with the blends, I think. Not quite probably as effective as with watercolors, but I do think we can get some different kind of layering. All right, so I could have a little tiny bit of shadowing there maybe. And this just has two lines. I don't like that. I gotta do something about that. There we go. Nice. Okay. So the little blue guys, I'm not quite happy with what they're like. It's not very much different than they are. So I'm going to bring in I'm going to bring in the light boho and add just a little tiny bit of something to this. I don't know what. Possibly. I'm doing a couple different things. I'm not sure which way I'm going to like them. Stop. Stop, Lori. Stop. I come back in here. This one, is this the light boho? And this guy here, I just need to have a little bit. And these guys. And then we'll call it good. But you can keep working it, I think, forever. Like I said, that girl said, I'm not going to do a lot. And then she took an hour with her watercolors. It's a similar size of thing, probably. Maybe, well, no, I think she had a bit more details in hers. But so I will come back in with the dark dots. And I think where you have things come together, I'm feeling that's where you need to have a little more definition sometimes. And just sometimes, like these look so cute right now. And then you have to, it's best to blend your lines, I think. So that's why you see me going back over the same spots again. And you're like, yeah, I can see that, Laura. Because otherwise it's just a line. And the line's not very good. The one good thing, it's, okay, I used to say it's just paper. Now it's not just paper. Paper costs. No, I'm just teasing. Okay, and then I think I'm going to come in here with the dark olive, if I can find it. Is this dark olive? No. Where's my dark olive? Probably still in here. even the mossy, oh, dark olive, perfect. And I'm just going to do this line again. I'll start right here. Oh, and I'm doing it even lighter, hopefully. I don't want to over cover it. I want to do just a line of it. Less, Lori, less pressure. I'd like to see the lighter green as well. Does that make sense? I'm trying not to touch the paper. But it needed a little tiny bit more, I think, right? Could have been, possibly I could have just done it with the light olive. It's pretty strong, but I think it'll fade a little bit. Probably, honestly, I might have been able to do it with the light olive again, and just the tone on tone there would have been just a shadow. But okay, now I'm seeing just a lot of stuff in here. One last time, and then I think we'll call it quits, because I really think you could just keep playing. And it's not necessarily making it worse. I feel like with each stroke that I do, it actually makes it better. How's that for? Oh, yes, I'm wonderful. And I definitely have run out of lines. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. That definitely, I think something will happen there. Okay, so now I gotta do these dots again. And I'm doing this now with dark boho because I don't think my blue will be enough. It's still probably wet. And so I'm sure these won't stay. Look how tiny these dots are. For goodness sakes, I need you to be bigger than that, you guys. But anyways, okay. That one I had to do twice, and I can see it. Da, 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 da. I must make that different. Okay. It's awfully pretty, hey? What do you guys think? Thanks, Connie. It does look kind of awesome. So, yeah, if you look really... I'm really pleased with, because I really had lost that guy. So yes, I had done, yeah, it is hard to know when to quit, Connie, 100%. I know I had done that with the white lift, just full for some people. But these guys, to me, they almost look all the same. So I think it was the lemon lime that added that little tiny bit. I'm not sure what I would do with... you know, different flowers. These are definitely spring, so lemon lime totally was a good choice to go there. But, and for myself, my line, my dark olive, it didn't fade enough. So I'm kind of sad that it's a little, everything else is quite soft, and that one's really hard, and I don't have room to muck around with it. So that's a little bit sad. The rest of it, I had movement, right? And so... But it's, I think, trust me, I think if I cut it out, I'll never look at it. Like, I won't notice it again. Do you know what I mean? It won't be like, what was I thinking? It just is harsher than I would have had it. I just see I don't have that one little tiny piece there done. Where's my olive? Oh, olive or granny apple. Where's olive? Olive! I got the dark olive. Maybe I used dark olive. Oh. Okay, so then I really, oh my gosh, that's so dark. I couldn't have used dark olive on there. Maybe I did. That's dark olive right there. Oh, I did use dark olive. Never mind. That's what I went over it with. Never mind, I'm losing my brain. Somewhere I have a light olive. I have no idea where it is. Okay, all right. I kind of feel like I know I could play around with the yellows a little tiny bit more. in full truth, I'm a little surprised that I can't get a little tiny bit more I'm not seeing those strokes at the end. But anyways, okay. I'm going to say that's enough. I'm not sure what time it is, but there we go. So technically, I don't know how it works. I can't see but hardly a line. Partly it was the beige, right? So to me, there's no lines practically left. I don't think that's the purpose of no line, but I can see right there, I could do a little tiny bit right? Because can you see that line right there? But generally speaking, this looks like a watercolor. I can still see the lines at the top here, and I have to do a little tiny bit more research. I believe you can often see, and especially with paler colors, I think you continue to see the line. It's just soft, and I don't think that's a huge problem. I did practice with this a little tiny bit last night just to see, and I think I did a little bit better today than last night. Yay me! So yeah, my lines are a little more garish. Everything about this. So definitely this is Shamrock, the color. But I will go back over. I will hopefully make this a little tiny bit prettier just by going back over all the colors with the colors that I even have and see first attempt, second attempt. Not sure. I think I'll do a third attempt. I'll play with it later off screen with these colors and see. Maybe instead of monkeying with this one, maybe I'll do a fresh one and see if I can soften some of the harsh lines that I have, right? Because I have some very harsh lines there. And it might be that I don't know. So anyways, so yes, that is my learning. Thank you guys for letting me do the ABCs of techniques with you. This was something I had not done yet, so it stretches mine. Sometimes it is... sometimes it's just a revisited technique that I have done in my 22 years of doing it. But in this case, this was brand new for me. So I think we'll try wine and watercolors. So bring your watercolors or your blends tomorrow night and play along with me while I'm doing it, because it won't be a fast pace. This is pretty slow. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Look at the schmoz here. I will see you guys tomorrow night, live at 8. It'll be great. Wine. How can it not be? Wine and watercoloring for cards and cocktails tomorrow night. Bye-bye.